All right, y'all. Hey, welcome to the filling station. I am Miss Didi, y'all. I'm super excited. So today we are looking at the SPY on the 5 minute chart, right? And I wanted to point out two things. One, all of these little sticks up here, they look like little sticks. Those are wicks. Those are sellers, and that's something to think about. If we're up here at resistance at the top, remember resistance is the ceiling and support is the floor down here. If we're at the top and we have a lot of little sticks like that or a lot of little, those are sellers. And we have to be very careful at that area. So we are in a SPY call, meaning we believe that SPY is going to go to the upside based on looking at the 5 minute chart, the MACD here, because I was looking. This is my EMA. The MACD here crossed. That is what I look for as a signal. We made three higher highs here. Second confirmation above the VWAP. Third confirmation 5 and 50 cross. We have four confirmations that we are to be in the upside of this trade. So if we entered the SPY, we would have entered and we could have stayed in until, it hasn't crossed back to the downside. But because I see a lot of activity going on here as far as selling activity going up, going down, it made a kind of like a double top here. It lets me know, wait a minute, SPY could very well go back to the downside. So I would be careful in that area. And look at our MACD. It's giving us a different signal. It's not going up as it was here. It's kind of going more of a flat. Is it going to cross to the downside, meaning we really need to be out of the trade? Our RSI is flat. Does that mean we're going to continue to the ups? I mean, does that mean we're going to go up or we're going to go down? These are things that I would have to watch, definitely pay attention to if I was in the trade. And right here, it needs to stay above the 5 if I'm in a call. If I'm in a put to the downside, I would expect it to stay to the downside. So let's look at the 1 minute really quick. And I know the 1 minute gets really busy, but I need to see what's going on the 1 minute. It seems like it was trying to get close to this VWAP here. So looks like SPY needs to stay above the 450.55 in order to stay in the upside of the trade. If it starts breaking down, it definitely means it's probably going to go to the downside if it breaks under the VWAP. I use that as above the VWAP, I should be in the upside. Below the VWAP, I should be in the downside. But we had several confirmations here that we were going to the upside. Again, I say that's riding the 5 because most of the time it's above the 5 EMA. But we have a lot of sellers here, in that supply zone. We call that the supply zone because that's where all of the sellers are hanging out, the hangout spot. So, yeah, I would definitely be watching if you're in the SPY at this point and it's closing like right consolidating really. It's not really going up or down. I would be careful because our MACD is giving us a signal that it could very well go to the downside, especially if you're in profit. Go ahead and lock in your profit because you had a signal to the upside. You could have entered somewhere around the 450. I'd say the 450.11 or the 450.18 in your second confirmation. Even if you'd entered at your second confirmation, that's still profit. You could have entered, that's still a profit place there. Yeah. So be mindful of that, paying attention to where your MACD is crossing, where your 5 and 50 crossing. What am I seeing as a second confirmation for me to be in this trade? Am I in with the buyers and this or the sellers? Is it a lot of selling activity going on here? Should I be mindful of this? Could very well reverse to the downside. Something's going on. I need to pay attention. These are things that I'm asking myself throughout the day. Yeah, I talk to myself. So it helps me to stay focused on where I am. But if we look at SPY on the 30-minute chart, it looks like we're moving up. We came down at the open and we're making higher highs, higher lows. And this candle will be a concerning candle. So this is my I need to pay attention type candle. That's my, even on the 5 minute, it came down still not quite closed above the 5, and we need to wait on the candle to close because that's where a lot of times I used to make so many mistakes. I would get out based on what I was seeing at that time, not realizing I'm looking at the 5 minute candle. The 5 minute chart. It still has a few more minutes left on the candle, so you have to wait on the candle to completely close. That's something to think about. Now we're looking at the 1 minute candle. That's a totally different thing, but A lot of times you can get false signals on the 1 minute. If I'm in the trade for a scalp, I like to look at the one to see, what's going on right now. I ultimately look at the 5 minute. I pay attention to my 5 and 50 crossing. I definitely pay attention to these sellers, or where the sellers are, or even where the buyers are. Because if we look at here, there is a wick here and there's a wick here. That means buyers were coming in. They were pushing this up. That's why we have the incline. That's why it was going up. So when you see the wicks on the bottom, that is buyers. If you see the wicks on the top, we got some sellers, and that's something to think about. You want to be in what, listen, I always say this, y'all. In the market, there's buyers and sellers, and I'm friends with both. When they're buying, I'm buying. When they're selling, I am out. That's something to think about. When they're buying, you buy. When they sell, be out. Pay very, very close attention to that. So let's look and see what the MACD is flat right here. So that kind of tell me that we need to be careful in this area, because it could very well continue up or it could continue down. I don't like sideways movements. I like to either be up or be down, or either I'm up or I'm down, because if you're in SPY calls or puts and you're doing the same day expiration, this sideways or any type of sideways movement is just eating away at your premium, and you don't want to lose. When you go in, this would have been a nice up trend up, it's going up versus sideways. So make sure you're not caught in that sideways activity, that whatever position or you're in, if you're going to go up, go up. If you're going to go down, but you do not want to trade sideways. And you always be mindful of where the buyers are and where the sellers are. Here is where our buyers were. This is where our sellers are. So I would definitely be mindful of this area right here. If SPY should come back to this area, guess what? We had trouble here before. It would need to break this area in order for me, if I'm, I need to, if we come to this place again, I anticipate us to have trouble. Are we going to break that area, or are we going to still have trouble at that area? And that's just something to think about. If you look at the SPY from 10:20 up until this point, 11:25, we've been going pretty much in this zone. This is where our sellers are. It's like our gathering place for, okay, we're not going to let it go this place, but the buyers are saying, well, we got a few buyers here. We're going to try to take it up to this place. So they're having some issues in this area right here. So I don't want to be in that area. I want to be in the decision of, okay, I'm going up or I'm going down. That's something to think about. And it looks like, we could very well go back to the downside. I'm going to create an alert to let me know that once the SPY gets below VWAP, I need to be watching that. I need to be paying very, very close attention to that area. Let's look at it again on the 1 minute chart. And right here's the ORB high. That means the opening range breakout. The first 15 minutes of the day, it's automatically generated on my chart. This lets me know that this is right here was support. It is support for SPY. We came down and close a little bit under it, but are we going to break through this support? Because if we do, we could very well come down and test the VWAP and break through it. So that's 5 and 50 has crossed on the 1 minute, and MACD looks like it wants to cross, or is about to cross on the 1 minute. So are we about to go down? That's something to think about. If you are in on the upside, you want to be mindful of where you're going to have trouble. Where are my buyers? Where are my sellers? I want to be where everybody else is. I don't want to be on the opposite side of the move. I don't want to be on the opposite side of the trade. I want to be wherever they are. So yeah, that's something to think about, y'all. The point of this video is to show you that SPY was moving up. We had some wicks at the top, which was where the sellers are. And when you see the wicks at the bottom, that's where the buyers are. Again, I'm friends with both. When they're buying, I'm buying. When they're selling, I'm out. Pay attention to your signs. Pay attention to your charts. Pay attention to your MACD crossing and your 5 and 50 crossing. Y'all, I hope this is helpful. I am Miss Dee Dee here at the filling station. Have an awesome day today, y'all, on purpose.